I'm just glad that when people say to me the best lineup they've ever had was the first album, and that was where it was exciting, I might not agree with them because I like some of the later stuff, because technology's grown and the albums are produced a lot better, especially with Martin Birch and everyone else getting involved. But it's nice to know when someone comes up to you and says, you started it, you was one of the people that was there, you put that influence into the band. And you always get, no matter how old you get, you will still get a buzz out of it. Like I went to Germany last year, or the year before, with Prayer Mantis. We did the Wacken Festival, 80,000 people. We go back to the hotel, there's an American band in the hotel from Ohio, never been there. And these guys were besides themselves, because I'm standing talking to them at the bar, and they've followed my career with Maiden and followed Maiden, and I didn't even know who they were. And you still get a buzz by people coming up and saying, my dad used to listen to you and he thinks you're great. You know, of course it is always good to be part of it, you know. So. As I said earlier, I always thought that Maiden had this little bit of a little bit special, a little bit different from other bands, and I think it told by, if you go through all the bands that were on the new wave of heavy metal, all the bands that were on there apart from Def Leppard, who thankfully, luckily, got their gift in America. I think if you look back at all the bands that were on that roadshow, none of them lasted apart from Maiden. They came through with flying colours. All the bands that Neil Kay promoted at around the Soundhouse, you know, everyone just seemed to drift away. I think the secret with Maiden was that they had that little bit of difference. Their riff work they didn't get stuck in a rut by just playing chords, and it was always riffs going on and busy. And I think that's what the kids got to like. They got involved with it. So I think they've come through, hopefully, through their songs, and also a little bit of luck, but also good management. You know, everything was planned properly. There's a little bit of hype, a little bit of promotion. They've got a good mob behind them. You know, with Rod Smallwood and EMI, they did it properly. As I said earlier, you know, there's not many bands that can go through lineup changes and come out of it with flying colours, because people get fed up with it. They will get fed up with losing their great singer, their favourite singer, to someone else, and go, well, what we got him for? You know, we want our old singer back. But they've come out of it. I think it's just a bit of everything. Well organised, management's well organised, the promotion is well organised, and I think the songs, the way they've worked on them with the riffs, with Steve working on the riffs, and I think that's the magic of what they've come through. Eddie was first thought of by Dave Lights. In the early days, we had it was like a skull with two lights sticking out and a bit of smoke coming out of his mouth. Pretty cheap, but then again, 1979, that was your backdrop. When we went on to Eddie, Rod Smallwood kept calling him Fred. So me and Dave Lights would look at one another and say, why does he keep calling him Fred? Basically, the reason he was Eddie, it was because it was Eddie the Head, because there was only an head there, a head. There wasn't a body, just a head. And so that was where he got the name from, Eddie the Head. But Rod wanted to call him Fred. So, but then he's grown into this big character. So I think it's great when we did things like Women in Uniform, and we filmed a video for Women in Uniform, and then we did the photographs at Madame Tussauds with Margaret Thatcher. We were told not to go to Ireland because they wanted to kill us, because the Iron Lady, being the Prime Minister, and the Iron Maiden, they saw it as a connection. So we were warned not to go to Ireland to play, so we didn't go. But the Eddie thing, you know, when you see, you know, there's certain things that the record company and people that were working with the band there, this is all what I was saying earlier about it's well constructed, the promotion side of it, you know, to get Eddie grabbing hold of Margaret Thatcher in a women in uniforms outfit, it's all part of the hype. So, you know, you need something like that, you know, so I think they've done well with him, you know. When we did the Reading Festival, we had 2 roadies with Eddie masks on in 1980. My ex-brother-in-law had an Eddie mask on and a leather jacket and a fire extinguisher. You know, UFO had all the special effects. We didn't have anything, we just had lights. So we had 2 fire extinguishers with Eddie mask on. So Eddie was included in everything, you know, so it's worked well. He's a good gimmick, you know, so can't knock it. Shame Eddie don't get Rory's.